Hello, this is Robert Pultz coming to you from North Carolina, where we had 18 or 12.8 inches of snow in this weekend. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that my doctor's appointments and everything are being canceled, and I'm got some time on my hands. So I thought I'd go through another one of these Gemini extracted RootsMagic templates, and this is going to be for the newspapers. Yeah. And I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat. I apologize for that. Got quite a few viewers on this discussion, and so this is a continuing effort. If you want me to continue along this line and give you the genealogical or the AI prompts that I'm using for other templates, you're going to have to put yes in the comments and say yes to continue the templates, and then I'll do some more videos on the rest of them. I'm going to try and put 3 of them in the description today, so that you don't it's all following the same process. So I don't want to take and bore everybody out there. So I'll probably be off doing this for a while, but that's where it is. I'm neither a professional nor an expert genealogist, just an armchair genealogist, just like you. I don't expect to be any better than you. I don't delete these my errors from the vlogs. We'll see how many I make today. I do quite a few. But I show you how I recover, and I expect you to be the proofreader and put in the comments any suggestions and the ways I can take and improve these videos. This is a collaborative effort, and it really worked collaboratively wise very well this time, this last video. If you're on the RootsMagic users group on Facebook, Renee came back. Renee's with a customer service person that services that group often. There's like 3 customer service people that do that, and she's one of them. And she posted a comment about my other 2 videos, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute because I've made some changes based on her recommendations. And I appreciate the fact that she spent the time with me. She's a very busy person. Okay, I also do these videos for people that say I go too fast. You can take and slow them down. You can take and pause them. You can take and rerun them. There's a slow down speed in YouTube. One of the reasons why I use YouTube. All the views are expressed are mine. I'm a member of 7 genealogy and historical societies currently, and I don't represent any of them. So I'm just out here on my own, doing my own thing. I do administer 2 one-name sites along with some other people. And if you have any of those surnames, please come and join us. It's just like this. We talk through things. I try and help people, and other people try and help people. And maybe we'll take and solve some problems. Okay, this is a 3rd in the series. I don't normally do series, but this is a 3rd in the series. And it's about a video I made on 2016-01-08, in which I discovered that I was doing a presentation for the RootsMagic11 users group in Muskogee. I was getting ready for it, and I was practicing for it, and I discovered that my templates, my source and citations, were inconsistent. And for the same template, I was putting different things in the different categories. And that concerned me because I'm trying to take and be consistent. And consistencies are one of my big concerns. And so I thought that I was trying to take and figure out a way of doing that better. If I continue to do the spreadsheet that I was doing in there, it was going to take a lot of time. And so I was looking around. I said, well, if I just had a program. Well, we have a program today, and it's called AI. And AIs are reasonably consistent. Not good for a lot of things, but they do put the same categories in the same places. And so I thought that would be a good application for it. If you viewed my other AI videos, you'll see that I've had some difficulty with AI in the past. I'm not an expert AI user, nor do I hope to be. And by the way, I'm using some of Steve Little's work in this. If you're familiar with Steve Little, he does quite a few AI postings. And anyway, that's it. Okay, to review the workflow process that I use, the first thing I do is I collect all the data from all the sources and enter that into Zotero. Everything, even my personal filings, because Zotero came after many years after I started this. So I've got folders going back to the 1990s and with data in them from the 1990s. I generally update that data because it's easy to do today. It wasn't then, but it is today. And so I make sure all those elements are also in Zotero. It takes some time. I may be rearranging that here in the future because I've got some tools I've learned in Zotero that I may take back. The second thing I do is that then I take and arrange everything in timeline in Zotero. I generally do that when I'm entering the data. So it starts out with, I label the beginning of the Zotero entry with the reference number for the individual, the year, the month, and the day in that order. And that gives me a decreasing timeline, or increasing timeline rather, of that event. And so they end up in Zotero in timeline order. And then I analyze the events and enter them into RootsMagic11. That's what we're going to be doing today. That's where we're at. So we're doing this and this and this. Okay. So the next thing I do is then I extract, I use AI to extract the data to fill in the source and citation template. And in between this step is how do I write the prompt for AI? And we'll talk a little bit about how I did it again. There seems to be some confusion about that, so we'll do that, and I'll try and go through it slowly, but you're probably going to have to stop it. And then I enter the events and sources into Family Search. I'm not doing that today, but I will be doing videos on that in the future. I haven't done any videos in the past on it yet. And then I formulate a hypothesis. Well, I don't know if that's worthy of a YouTube video or not. You tell me. I will probably advance the tools there into AI a little bit. AI has given me research plans for going forward on lots of data. So I'm thinking about moving that on to AI. Okay. May do a video then. Okay, here's the change that basically two things occurred when I did the templates the last time. Had 11 templates in there, and now I have 8. And the reason is that I found one of the templates was duplicated, basically. So I dropped one and went for the evidence explained template and dropped the one that was not evidence explained. And then Renee made a suggestion that even merged the one that I saved with 2 more. And she said that she made the suggestion that I use website with multiple databases template for Family Search, MyHeritage, and Ancestry. And that merged 3, basically eliminated 1 duplicate and merged 2 others into this website. So basic book format is 1. If you want to see that, you're going to have to request it because I have put it, I will try and put it in the description today, the prompt for that. So I'm going to try and do that. Newspapers on live archives is the one we're doing today, mainly because it's the largest number of entries for this individual. Archive material in the vertical files. I haven't done that yet. Newspapers unidentified clipping privately held. I haven't done that one. Artifact privately held. I haven't done that one. Personal knowledge. I haven't done that one. And cemetery records is also going to be one of them that I take and include in the description today. And if you want to see how I did that specifically, you'll have to request it. Your readers will have to request it. I'll be glad to do it, but I just don't want to bore you either. And so that would be just a record. Process will be similar today. Okay, here's a demonstration. But before we get to the demonstration, let's do this. Okay, wait a minute. I need to take and move this over. So I have my checklist as I go through the demonstration. Oops. Do this and move this over. Okay. Now, to take and develop the prompt, since I have a good prompt, a reasonably good prompt, I haven't received any feedback on how to change the prompt for the AI. Just the template that I'm using. So I'll be developing a AI prompt for that template also. So what I did is and this genealogical proof standard and this information here is out of Steve Little's prompts. Now I don't understand what Steve Little's doing all the time, but I did understand this part of it. So I added genealogical proof standard in, and I added all this because I was having hallucinations. And when I went to my friend AI Ernest, which is Gemini, uh, I, Ernest suggested this. So this came from the AI. So I've added that back in, as I said in my last video, in the templates that I'm using are the prompts that I'm using for the extraction for the templates. Let me get a little drink of water here. Like I said, it's been cold and I've been shoveling the driveway. Probably get a cold bug here pretty soon. Okay. So what I do is I go to Gemini, my Ernest AI Gemini, and I say, act as a professional genealogist operating under genealogical proof standard, well versed in the evidence explained standards. Create a genealogical proof to extract the data elements for filling out RootsMagic11 newspaper online archives, source and citation templates provided for evidence. Explain for each evidence. Do not fabricate and so on. Formatting rules or so on. This is a sample that was developed for the Family Search Online database. That's one of the templates that I'm dropping. So this is the database, the source that I was using. Then I said the data elements. Now, the way you get these data elements for each one of these sources is you've got to create a source. Let's go back. Okay, well, let's go back to people. What I did is I went in here, I set up a miscellaneous, but I'm going to go down here and get one that's already done. I set up a miscellaneous, then I went over and I did a source, and I attached a source to it for in this case, newspapers. And when you do that, you get all of these titles here: source type, name type, newspaper, title with place, and so on. Okay, then I take that and I bring that in here. So here's the source elements. Okay. And here's the citation elements, complete with the quality elements, which are related to that citation. So, and this is what Gemini responded with. It went down through it. As you can see, it's like this. Okay. So I took that and it gives me I'm going through this slowly so you can pause it and you can run it through slow. Okay. It gives me some good information. And this is information that I use for the people that I'm inputting. And I developed the genealogical extraction prompt, okay, for newspapers. Okay. And this is the prompt that I developed from that. So I have a target person in there. These are all target people that I'm working on right now. That's today's work and probably the last 3 weeks' work. Since '08, I've been working on these. Primarily, I'm working on Auta because you'll notice I've used Auta in a lot of the presentations. And then I've added here's the stuff for hallucinations, and here's the formatting rules. Okay, and so I've added that all in, and this is the prompt. You're seeing the prompt. and citation elements and so on. Then I'll take that. Well, then I'll go next. I will go and go to that person's file. So let's go to her file. The event that I've chosen is January the 13th, 1938. And it's the Martha Society. I don't really know who the Martha Society is, but I suspect that has something to do with the Methodist Church. A friend of mine who's an ex-Methodist preacher has advised me a lot on the Methodist, different societies in the Methodists. I believe she gave me some information on this. I just haven't looked it up today. So I have two copies of it down. I have the PDF and then I have the JPEG. Okay. Now the first thing I do with these is when I've got real documents in my person folder, I move that into what I call the new folder, which is located in my downloads folder. This is just a convenience thing. I just copied them over so that they're in there. Okay, there. So I've got two documents. One's a JPEG of the same thing. And the other's PDF. Why do the PDF? Well, let me show you. Let me get this over there. Okay, there it is. You'll see it's got all this information up here. Okay. And sometimes the PDFs from some of the newspaper sites will come over this way. Now, what I'm going to show you is a way of doing newspapers.com, and the other one that I used it for was Gateway to Oklahoma, which is primarily a newspaper site also. All righty, now I've done that, and that. Let's see what it looks like in Zotero, because I've done that. Okay. Now you'll notice that as my normal form of Zotero when I'm collecting data is to put it in under the date. We talked about this in the process, and I only have about 4 things left on this person to do under the date. Now, I just realized I got a couple things here I got to clean up. Anyway, once I input it to RootsMagic, and I have done this one in RootsMagic, so I'm going to just show you how I've done it. It receives the term accepted in front of it, and that puts it in another category. So I have my work to be done sitting up here that I've collected, and the stuff in accepted. I'm also thinking about adding accepted to the front of the file names on my in a personal file folder, so I can keep them separate from the ones that aren't accepted. So I may do that today. Really thinking that there's some real advantages to doing that. So there's all the accepted, and we got to come down here. These are all things that we've entered, and here's the one that we want. Okay. So now to take and do a research log on that document. Now, if I wanted to do a research log on everything that's in here, I would come over here and click. And so you come here, you right click, and you come down here and say generate report. And that generates what's in that file for that document. And then I take that and I say save it. And when it gets over here, I go to downloads and I go to the new folder, which you can call it anything you want to, and just put it in there. Okay. So now the new folder looks like this. There's the Zotero report we just did. Here's the various 2 newspaper documents that I downloaded from newspapers.com. Looks like I did that in 2025 and June 2025. Been doing a lot of newspaper.com stuff. Okay. So now I've got my prompt here. Okay. And I have the documents that are associated with it. So I take this prompt, copy it. I've got it already set up for Auta, so I don't have to do that. Otherwise, if it's for another individual, then I have to change the target person and do a copy. And now I come over to you would think I'd have all this all set up, wouldn't you? Not true. And I come in here and I put the prompt right here so you can see what it is. And it generates as a genealogical extraction prompt, analyze the provided digital newspaper record and extract. Now, that prompt is going to be in the description for today, so you don't have to copy it down. And then I do upload here at the plus, and I go find that new folder. There it is right there. You can call it anything you want to. I just call it, I don't worry about it. And I take all of these here and I highlight them. I come down here and I say open. So it's got all this information about that event, okay? Little pieces in each one of them that it needs. And then I come over here and I click this. And Gemini gets to work. And based on the provided newspaper column, it gives me the information I want in the form that I want it. And it's consistent. Now, some of the hallucinations it's doing, it's having a real hard time. For instance, it's got the Martha Society 1938. That shouldn't be in a source citation. It could be in a source citation if you're doing it at a granular range. I've forgotten what they call that. I call it granular because you're getting really low. That means you're writing a source citation for every single entry, a different source and different citation. I write source citations for specific newspapers and then have citations for the edition and the content of the newspaper, and that's how I do it. There are apparently multiple ways of doing citations. That's the way I do it. Just so it's clear, it's actually explained in one of the RootsMagic things this week, where a person asked a question about, actually it was last night, asked a question about doing newspaper source citations. So if you're a member of the Facebook RootsMagic group, you might go read that. I read it. I don't remember the terms, but I read it, and it's there. So anyway, this is it, and it's giving me that information. So all I got to do is cut and paste that into the citation. So since I already had a Oklahoma Logan Guthrie Daily News site source in there, I don't have to do that again. And since I already had the source master source text, that I don't need to do that again. And the repository is newspapers.com. Okay. So you go back. So I don't have to do that again. So all I got to do is put in the citation. So what you do is you cut and paste the citation elements directly into this part of RootsMagic and fill these in. And I've been accused of writing really long source citations. Well, according to my AI Ernest tells me that I'm doing it according to the EE standards. And I'm willing to, I know AI Ernest hallucinates it from time to time, but I'm willing to take AI Ernest's standards. So anyway, here's the footnote that was developed. You can see it fills in all kinds of information. I don't really have to take additional notes because it's doing such a good job. Okay, now, before we go further, let's talk about something that's not on the demonstration list. Let's see, I've done that. Do folder contents, profs, AI, Gemini. Discussion hallucination, I did that. Show results for entry and RootsMagic. You really have to do hallucinations if you're going to use AI, folks. Okay, one of the things that you can do, and Gemini. Now, this has nothing to do with the template, but while you're here and you've got the information in it, you might as well do it. And what you can do is ask AI. Now, I don't have this typed up any place, so I'm going to take and try and wing it here. So, and you can do this. You can say, develop a spreadsheet of all the names, relationships, and locations of people in this article. Saves you a lot of time doing this, by the way. Based on the newspaper or Guthrie Daily Leader. It gives you this first, so you can take and copy this down. So you can get relationship information in the cities. And there you are. Now, when it says export to Sheets, that's Google Sheets, okay? You come down here, see this down here. And you say Open Sheets. And there it is. And you come up to File. And you say Download. And in my case, I do it Microsoft Excel format. And there it is right there, which is, let's do this, downloads here. And society information, okay, there it is. And then you come over here, for those of you that don't know how to use Excel, you do that and you come up here and you do this. And there is your table. Now, what I do with this table, and save it, is if you recall right here, there's that table right there. Okay. And so you now have, if you ever do friends, associates, and neighbors, the fan chart, you've got people to take and add to your list of friends, associates, and neighbors to be researched. Okay, so let's get back to this. Are we having fun yet? Okay, so we've done the hallucination, the results in RootsMagic, and a resulting footnote. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about organizational structure and stuff like that in RootsMagic. So, like I said before, if I'm doing something, I generally choose miscellaneous. When I want to take and get the titles, my SC, I put a miscellaneous category in the person that I'm working on. That comes up down here. I'll put a XX in there so it looks like it's staying there. And then I want to add a source citation. Oh, by the way, while I'm here, this is how I name my sources. Now, that's a personal thing. Do it any way you want to. But I do it by state or country, and then the county. And then if there's a city associated with it, let's see, Indiana Evansville should have Vandenberg in there. I got to go back and correct that. Indiana Marriages says the whole state, that's a statewide collection. Indiana Wills and Probate, that's the statewide. Kansas County Marriages, okay. Kansas Osage is a county. Probate Estate Files. And then Kansas Franklin's a county, deeds. So this is Osage, and then Osage City is a city, and so on. And here's my Oklahoma ones. You'll see I've got quite a few newspaper ones in Oklahoma. I have some newspapers, I think, in Kansas. The Osage City Press right there, and the London Record are newspapers. That should have newspapers.com behind it, I think. Okay. And you can see that I have, that's the way I do it. U.S. only collections or U.S. full U.S. collections are like that, okay? And I have a category for world if I ever find something like the international, find a grave index would be what. So if I want to add a source, then I've got my favorites. And I was just thinking a while ago, I haven't taken the ones out of the favorites. But for newspapers archives, I would have chosen that one, okay? And then that would start out with, this would give you the master source and so on. I generally just X that in and X that in and say, okay. And then when I come over here, open this up, and this is how I built the prompt. So you can do this with any template. So I've got this miscellaneous record down here, and I've got my categories for the template. It would be nice if RootsMagic would print this out, but it doesn't. And so this is a workaround that I use. Okay, so I showed you that. So let's get rid of this because I don't want to leave that in my, this is my research file. This is my file that I cherish a little bit more than the composite that I normally show you. Okay, and you can see I've done quite a bit on Auta, have just a few more to go, and I'll be doing those templates pretty soon. As soon as I get back to it, I'm doing this instead of that today. Okay, now what else can I show you? I had another thing in mind. Let's go back to this and look at this. Okay. Okay, my RootsMagic playlist is here. Let's go show you that. Okay. You just go to YouTube. You got to go to my name. Since it's my channel, I can jump right to it. But you have to go to this URL. Okay. And then if you want to see the recent videos, you hit videos, and they're in decreasing order of when they were entered. Okay. And if you want to see my playlist, the playlist of my videos will have the word my in front of it. So this here's my RootsMagic11 ones. Oops, wait a minute. Didn't mean to do that. I may get that killed. That was a mistake. You want to view the full playlist. There we go. There's my RootsMagic videos, and you'll see I have these two down here, which are the last two that I did on templates. So if you want any more on templates, you're going to have to put yes in the comments because I'm going to do 3 or 4 more templates, but they're going to have small volume associated with them. This newspaper one had a big volume related to it, and I am planning on putting in the description that goes with this video, a number of templates if they will fit. There's a limit on what I can take and put in there, and it's either 5,000 words or it's 5,000 characters. If it's 5,000 characters, I'm out of luck. I can only do one template at a time, in which case I'll only put 1 in there. If it's words and they use like a 10 character words, so I'm in good shape. I can put 3 in there. Contact information, like I said, put things. If you like what I'm doing, please like and follow me. Subscribe, I guess, is the word they use here. Think about additional topics or anything that you see me do that I don't have a video on. Comment in the comments. If I have a video on it, I'll tell you where the video is. If I don't have a video on it, I'll put it on the list for videos to be done. Okay. Okay. AI enhanced workflow. This is just the AI part of it, not the regular. So I capture the data and do the research log. I put everything, and I take the document folders and the research log. I put that in a folder that I then can take and bring it into Gemini. I don't know why I have research logs twice, but there they are. And then I take and do Gemini, actually AI Earnest, which is my Gemini, to extract the data. I do a hallucination check. I've showed you that several times in several videos now. Be sure and make sure that data makes sense and is in the proper place. And then I add it to the RootsMagic database. So that's about it. Now I got to figure out how to stop share. And now I got to figure out how to end the session. You all have a great time. I hope you're staying warm and safe like we are. We're kind of just enjoying the snow here. And until the next time, have a good one.